Donald Fagen on the Big Show. Good morning to you. Andy Crowner, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. You got your shopping done?
You're funny. No, I haven't really started yet, to be honest with you.
Sounds like I got to run over to Farm King.
Yeah. That's, listen, you can buy anything at Farm King pretty much for anyone on the list. They have secretly the best housewares department anywhere in the town in terms of cooking stuff and quality spices and extracts and these kinds of things and cookware and stuff. It's really good, really good. You know what?
I thought we were all buying each other ammo this year.
Yeah, well, they also coincidentally have been the only place to buy ammo anymore. Gosh, and as soon as they get it in, they line up out there. It's pretty incredible. Although there's plenty of shotgun shells and the rest of that stuff. Pistol ammo has been hard to keep in stock. Well, coast to coast, I suppose it looks like.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how about you? You doing all right?
Yeah, I got a few gifts left to go out and get. We actually do some of our family Christmas kind of the week before, so we've got it coming up this weekend already.
Take the pressure off a little bit?
Well, we always like to have kind of a full day of, hanging out and playing games, doing those kind of things. So we start with breakfast early and just kind of hang out all day, though now with basketball back in session for the youth athletes. Now I've got a game Sunday for fifth grade, so I've got to go do that kind of in the middle of it.
So you're coaching fifth grade basketball?
You got it. Yep, fifth grade for West Burlington.
Boy, that's a great, fun age. That's one of the last ages where you still can kind of keep them together. You know what I mean? At some point shortly thereafter, maybe it's middle school and above, it really starts to get dicey.
It's a fun group. My nephew Cale is in that class, which is why I stepped in this year to do it. And they are really fun, and I enjoy, imparting some of the wisdom of the great coaches I had who have really been influential in my life, Vern Reed and Rick Raleigh and all those coaches over my lifetime that meant so much to me. So I'm glad to be able to get back and do that.
I saw the quiet one, Rick Raleigh, the other day in some store. And because he had a mask on, of course, I didn't recognize him. And but as soon as he opened his mouth, I knew instantly who it was, because that's no mistaking who that is. And it's just kind of funny because I won't tell you the store because it's kind of embarrassing, kind of a girl store. The two of us are shopping for girly stuff. Anyway, this is Andy Crowner from the West Burlington City Council and West Burlington fifth grade basketball, as you just heard. Meeting tonight for the council, right? Tonight?
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on. We've talked about a few of these things, but they're moving forward. So the Luer's Park, what we're calling kind of a water restoration, but a big part of this project is actually the water main in that area needs some repairs. So it's got 700 feet of water main, and then we're going in and doing some stream restoration. And
how big is a water main in terms of a pipe?
Oh, it can be 8 inches, 10 inches, something like that.
So 700 feet. Wow.
Yeah, and it's funny being on the real estate side too. How many days I have spending talking about water pipes and sewer pipes now. It is a constant discussion on every house too. So.
Right.
Public hearing on that project tonight, and the good thing about that one is a lot of that is being funded by a grant. So it might be a $500,000 project, but our actual out-of-pocket's pretty low. So we're moving forward with that with the public hearing tonight, and that's going to be good to get done. That water main needs changed in there. So
and then there's 708 square yards. It looks like, of permeable pavers. Where's that going to be exactly?
Yeah, it should be down in that kind of in that stream area. All the rest of it, besides the water main, is really to try to get that stream flowing through there well and keep the water in that whole area. And as we get more housing up in that Luer's area on the south side of that, which we have somebody looking at developing that area,
right?
Then we should, we need to get that cleaned up so that water runoff is all going in the right direction right there.
And these permeable pavers, are they the size of bricks or 12 by 12 patio type things or what? Do you know?
I don't know exactly. I haven't asked that question. I'll ask that tonight and find out.
Just kind of curious on what that's going to look like. That might be nice.
Yeah, I'll see if we got a picture of it. I'll send it over to you.
RISE grant application tonight too, right?
Yeah, well, this is kind of the first talk about this, and what we're looking at right now is there is some interest in the old Raiders site to bring in some manufacturing out there and some jobs, which would be great for our area. And one thing we need out there is we need a road going into that area, and what this will do, not only will it help with the Raiders building, but it will also help us with the two areas back behind Raiders, be able to subdivide those off and hopefully build something out there in the future. I know, everybody in the area kind of looks at, the business park still has quite a few areas, and there's some other areas to build. But actually in West Burlington, just in our little city, we've actually kind of sold all of our areas of the business park, and the Raiders area is kind of our part of the city that's left to develop. So
as you're on North Gear and you're looking off to the west to see what was the Raiders corporate office and now Central Planning or whatever it's called, and then so there's a road that goes and splits that, right? So on the one side there's like truck parking, gravel. It's a huge area though. And then the second thing is off to the...
What I've seen is further west, and the beginning of this, this is just the $17,000 for an engineering study to be able to go in and show how the road would lay out. So I don't have the plans and specs yet. This is just approving the study to get it done.
Gotcha. So it's quite a ways back there, though. I mean, it
is.
It's a big lot. I mean, you could have a mini business park of its own right back in there.
Yeah, and the good thing, I think, for anybody listening, the positive part of this is we have companies moving to our area from other parts of the country that are looking at Burlington saying, hey, look, here's an area in Iowa that they see could be developed and a good place to bring jobs. And this is not the only one of these conversations we're having right now. I know on the real estate side, I've got some other people interested in coming in. So, not saying that Burlington's going to become a huge boom town, but anytime we can add, 20, 30, 50 jobs, I think that's a really good thing.
Absolutely. So besides that, first reading of these water rate changes we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, we have a proposal in front of us, and I do like the way this has went. Now, obviously, I don't want to raise rates, but we've got to pay for the water tower one way or the other. And what this does, if you look at 3,000 gallons and up, you're going to see probably an increase of $2.09, and that's per 1,000 gallons, just so everybody's right on the math here. So you'd be moving, let's say you're a 4,000 gallon user, that would be going up from, 765, something like that, to 974 on that last 1,000 gallons. But here's the good part of the way we have this water rate increase is that minimum user who's using 3,000 or under would only see a $2.25 increase. So basically the cost of one-third the cost of other users. So we're trying to hit them less than the bigger users. So if you're a minimum user, your cost is not going up the full 10%. That's more like a 3% increase.
So it was roughly $2 per 1,000 gallons additional.
Correct.
Is that what you said?
Correct. $2.09 for most everyone, but the real low end user, you're just a single person at home,
right?
And the hope is, our elderly population, that's just them in the house. They're not using as much water. We're going to try to impact them less.
Right. Gotcha. All right. So that's that. And so it's a stepped up system toward the bigger users. Does that sound like a fair way to say it?
Yeah, we didn't step it all the way up. We had some proposals in front of us that increased, the 500,000 gallon users even more. This increase, everybody over 3,000 gallons would have the same increase. But we did at least go in on the low end user and hit them a little less.
Yeah. Caller, you have a question?
Is that strictly on the water side, or is that on the total bill? What is sewer going to do?
Yeah, this is just on the water side. I don't have a sewer proposal in front of us. I think last time we looked at it, we were looking at maybe a 4 or 5% increase to be able to cover some costs from the state. But we don't have that in front of us right now. We're going to actually have a budget session tonight as well, so we're going to start getting into some of those numbers.
When you say costs from the state, are you talking separation mainly?
Actually, I'm talking more money we got to put away and having a fund to be able to cover our costs and cover the state rules and how much money we have to have in that fund at the time.
Is that because there's upcoming projects that you're slated for, or is that something you have to keep in there all the time?
So we have projects on the sewer side constantly. I mean, you're always doing something.
You never meet levels, or when you do, then they've got new levels that come out. So I didn't know if that was because there was an upcoming project and you need to show progress towards it, or that's a balance you have to always keep.
Balance you have to always keep compared to your costs. So
okay.
Yeah, it's always a balancing schedule, and we had spent a little more out of that fund than we had taken in the last year, so you're looking at a very slight increase there. But again, I don't have those numbers in front of me officially right now, so that's just what we've talked about in the last couple of months.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Also, there was this Great River Housing Rehab Partnership. What is our involvement in that exactly?
Yeah, this is a great program, and I may want to adjust some numbers on this, but I think this is a really good start to it. A couple months ago, we were talking about a little housing project and giving about $120,000 to it, something like that. And instead, as a council, we all decided, you know what, we'd rather give $10,000, $15,000 increments to our citizens that are currently here that need some help doing outside projects like siding and roofs and windows and those kind of things. And you need to start from the premise of we have money that we have to spend on the low and moderate income housing.
Right.
We've got about $90,000, and this comes from what we do with TIF and other areas. You have to spend a percentage of that on low and moderate income housing. So what do we do with that money? Well, we thought the best use for our entire city is to go out and improve the look of our city so that all home prices can go up, and that money is being used to beautify our city and raise the whole town up. So what this does is they're actually going to match us 1-to-1 on these. So if the city goes in and gives $15,000 on a project, then the Great River Housing is going to match that. So we actually have double the money. And so people will be able to apply through Southeast Iowa Regional Planning for a project on their home. Again, we're trying to aim at exterior so that it helps raise the property all around it as well, not just something inside that nobody else is going to see. And so they'll be able to apply, and Southeast Iowa Regional Planning will handle the applications and the bid projects.
But this is or isn't just for West Burlington?
This is just West Burlington. That's it.
Okay, so if you needed a new roof and it was $4,000, essentially out of this fund you could give $2,000, and then wherever the match is coming from, the other $2,000.
The other $2,000 is coming from Great River Housing.
Okay.
Which is run by Southeast Iowa Regional Planning. It's a little wing of it. And so they would match, and we would go and get that done here. And I think that's a great use of those low and moderate income funds because it not only helps that person, but I think it helps their neighbors as well.
Gotcha. And from the homeowner standpoint, it would be 100% of that? Or do they have to be involved in some way with some money?
No, we can help at 100% right now the way we're proposing this. And,
wow.
And you have those funds sitting there, and we should be using them. We've got about $90,000, which if you consider the match, then we've basically got $180,000 we can use over the next couple of years. It should do a lot of good for our citizens if we can go out and do 10, 15, 20 roofs or vinyl siding, those kind of things. Should really help. If you drive up and down West Burlington, there's a lot of beautiful houses out here. and there's also some houses that need some help.
Right.
And there's some low-income people that need that help. So I think this is a good way to use those funds.
So it sounds like that starts in July, so we'll talk about that later down the road.
Yeah, this is just the very first meeting of that to kind of say, we approve with this plan and these different bodies being involved and handling the applications. And I wouldn't mind seeing the numbers tweaked just a little bit, because we're looking right now at like $15,000 a project from us plus 15 from them. And to me, that's a little much. I think they should be a little smaller. I don't think we need $30,000 in a project.
Right.
I'd rather see half that and be able to help more people.
I agree.
But
I
think it's a great start. A good conversation we're having for the use of those funds.
And then you must be, speaking of budget, you must be right on top. What is this, December? Yeah, you got to get going on the budget, right?
Yeah, this is the start of that tonight. So we don't have much in front of us tonight. We've got some general notes and some vehicle planning and roof planning and things like that our city manager finally got out to us here. And so we can start having some of those conversations and putting away money for future costs, large costs to the city like that. But then tonight we should get kind of the wish list from each department and have a conversation with council and mayor about things they want to get done next year. So should have a lot more information after this meeting tonight, but that's the start of our budget.
Good deal. All right. Well, I only got about 30 seconds left for you to tell me everything that's going on in real estate right now.
I tell you what, it is so busy right now. Normally this time of year slows down, but I could work 24 hours a day right now. It is nuts. So closing Friday, I've got a bunch of new listings coming up. I've got offers on a bunch of properties I'm working right now. It's just been crazy, and I know the whole office is that way. We were all hoping for a week or two off, but it's not coming.
Well, let's start next Wednesday with flip-flop. We'll start the real estate first next Wednesday. All right?
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks. AndyCrowner.com is how you contact Andy, or Facebook. Search Andy Crowner. Appreciate the time this morning.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you soon.
You too.